Hello everyone and welcome to the second part of my double albums to singles albums video. So in the first part, I talked about Who's Tommy, London Calling by The Clash, and Layla by Derek and the Dominoes. So I assume that you've probably watched that video and then you come into this one. But if you're not, what I've done was I took the double albums, half the songs, and then decided what ones I'd be keeping, what ones I would be leaving the double album. In this video I will be doing the albums Quadrophenia by The Who, Paul Weller's 22 Dreams, and then Fleetwood Mac's album Tusk. So yeah, I'll just get right into it with Quadrophenia here. So I did say about Tommy in the last one, that with that one there were a lot of little songs but were very important to the actual story, although musically weren't that much. Although Quadrophenia, yeah, it is still a concept album, like a rock opera, there's much less filler on this album for me, and this one was quite a difficult one actually for me to condense down. But anyway, here it goes. Opening up with I Am the Sea, unfortunately is leaving. It's mostly just sort of the sound of the tide going in and out. It is a nice way to start the album, especially it being set in Brighton and that. But unfortunately, it doesn't warrant any sort of playing within isolation off the album. So yeah, unfortunately that one is going. So the actual proper opener to the album, the real me, is staying. Love that song, fantastic Who track. And now the title song, Quadrophenia, is a good instrumental, sort of similar to Overture from Tommy, where you've got a lot of different instrumental sort of snippets from a lot of the tracks in it. So it's a very entertaining song to listen to, but unfortunately I would have to get rid of it from my 9-song Quadrophenia album. Next one is Cut My Hair, which I am keeping. Really love that song. Got a great melody, great lyrics to it as well. And then also Punk and The Godfather, of course, is staying as well. Love that song, really fantastic. So yeah, side one is a fantastic side, really. I wouldn't change it too much, too much on the actual album, but some things they did have to go, unfortunately. Side 2 opens up with I'm One, which I am keeping. Amazing song, really fantastic, great lyrics, great guitar playing from Pete Townsend. It's got very slow, very soft, but then it does progress throughout the song. Really like that one. Next one, The Dirty Jobs, I am also keeping. Really like this one. Again, it was sort of this one was one we're almost left by my album, but it is a great song though, so that's why I'm keeping it. This one is Helpless Dancer, one of the weakest ones on the album for me, a shorter one as well, so it doesn't overstay its welcome too much on the album. But for me, I would have to ditch this song from the album. In My Head are another great song actually, but I am gonna have to get rid of it. It's a little bit repetitive, and there were only 9 spots on this album. So yeah, this one unfortunately had to go. Though the closer to side 2 on this album, I've Had Enough, is fantastic, is staying. One of my favourites from Quadrophenia. Really fantastic song. Again, it develops, goes through a lot of stages, and we've got wee bits of Love Rain Over Me in this one, and there's a lot of great things going on within this track. 515 is fully no surprise, staying on my album. Really love that one, fantastic song, classic Who track. Sea and Sand is leaving, one of slightly more unmemorable ones on the album. It is a little bit not very characteristic. But yeah, so yeah, that one it is leaving. Drowned is a decent song. This one again was on a knife edge, whether I keep it or get rid of it. But unfortunately it has to go for me. And now a song like I never used to really care for too much, Bellboy, but recently has just shot up in like my like estimation. Love the song now. Got like great like sort of like wee like vocal bit from like Keith Moon, like in like the middle, like off like this one. It is just like a fantastic song, and like great scene for like the film as well, where like Sting is playing like the big is playing like the bellboy and that. So yeah, fantastic song. Next two tracks though are Leaving. Dr. Jimmy is like again like a slightly weaker one, like on the album. I mean, like let's say like weaker song. Like it is still like a good song. Great like lyrics to that to it. Like I mean, like I do like it a lot, but it does have to go. And like The Rock, it is like an instrumental track, similar to like Quadrophenia, sort of like reprise of all like the musical themes and that throughout the album. But like you just don't need it like to like enjoy the album. So that one is going. But I am keeping the closer, Love Reign Over Me, which of course is staying. Classic Who song. Great vocals from like Roger Daltrey throughout this song. So yeah, of course that one is staying. Right, so now we are on to Paul Weller's album 22 Dreams. Now this is one where I think a lot of people might not be familiar with. This was released in 2008 and it has 21 songs on it. So yeah, like a lot of like material like on it. So I am keeping like 11 songs like on this album. So the album opener is a song called Light Nights, which I am keeping on the album. Quite folky, got like a bit of like a violin bit like in it like as well. Like I really like it a lot. So yeah, that one is staying. The title song 22 Dreams, very sort of frantic, very upbeat song, is like also staying as well. Although it isn't one of like my absolute favourites on the album. Next two songs though are both fantastic, really great songs. All I Want to Do Is Be With You is staying. Fantastic song, one of like the best songs like from like his later career. And like also Have You Made Up Your Mind, of course, like is staying. Another fantastic song. And then like closing sort of like side one like on the album is Empty Ring, which I'm also keeping. So like actually like the whole of side one to this album like I am keeping. Really like the whole lot of it. So yeah, like Empty Ring like is also staying. Though the album does take a bit of like a nosedive for side two, where I am like actually only keeping one song. Opener is like Invisible, which unfortunately like it is leaving a much sort of slower one. Not very memorable, just a little bit like average song for me. Song for Alice is a little like instrumental doodle really, nothing much, is leaving my album. Though I am keeping the song Cold Moments, a slightly slower piano one, but like I do quite like this one, like actually, yes, like I am keeping that one. And now like another little track on here, must be less than like a minute long, The Dark Pages of September Lead to the New Leaves of Spring. Very long title to say. But yeah, pointless song really. Don't know like real need for this one. So yeah, like I'm like not a fan. And then the closer aside to Black River is like also leaving my album, yeah. Like, but this one was one that like almost like just made the cut, but like it wasn't quite there for me. Like it's a little bit like again like I'm just trying to like remember like what it goes like, but it isn't really coming to me. So yeah, this one did leave my album. Though side 3 to like the original album does start very promising. Why Walk When You Can Run is a great song, sort of singing like about like his son and that, like really great lyrics to this one. So yeah, like this one is staying on my album, as is the next song, Push It Along, like a really good rocker actually. Do quite like this one, it is just like a bit of fun for me. Then we get a song called A Dream Reprise, which is basically just like which is basically just like a snippet of like the title song. Don't really need it. I mean like it is like nice to hear it like again, although yeah, for me never one where I would play like in like isolation of the album. Next one though, like I'm keeping Echoes Round the Sun, bit more heavier for like Paul Weller. Like this was actually like a collaboration with like Noel Gallagher. So yeah, a great song, really like it a lot actually, like I'm keeping it. And then the last two songs on side 3, both unfortunately are leaving. One Bright Star, which is okay. I mean, this one almost made it, but like unfortunately, like again, wasn't quite there. And then Lullaby for Kinder. From what like I remember of this one, was a very short song, quite pointless, really like not for me. And then we've arrived at the final side to the double album, Wherever Ye Go. I really like this one, really fun song, again quite folky, but like really good, like nice like acoustic song, like I believe it had like a very sort of like fun like sing-along chorus, so yeah, really like that one actually. Then we have probably the worst one like on the album, a track called God, which is mostly just like a sort of like a spoken word track. Like I forget who like speaks it, but yeah, it isn't really for me. We're a bit sort of like indulgent really, like off like Paul Weller to do this song. So yeah, like not staying like on like my single album. Then we have the song 111, which I'm also getting rid of as well. Like again, a bit more off like a sort of like an atmospheric track, and instrumental this one like as well like I believe. Yeah, like not for me personally. Right, then we get one of the album singles, Sea Spray. Really great song. I do like its placing like on like the album like towards the end, and sort of like rounds things off like quite well. Yeah, like great chorus, really fantastic song, like one of like my favourites from the album. And then we close with Night Lights, in like contrast to like the opener, Light Nights. This is Night Lights, and yeah, a little bit pointless for me. I was a little bit miffed that like this one was like included in like the more modern classics, like deluxe edition collection, because it really is just like a 5-minute track of like tape loops and that. Like I do like appreciate him like sort of like trying out new things and like not doing what people like expect of like Paul Weller. But for me, certain songs like on this album don't quite work, and like is like one of like his like weaker like ones like from like this century. Although it is a very adventurous album, so like I will give it that. Right, so that has me done 22 Dreams. We are now just on to the final one, which is Tusk by Fleetwood Mac, and very highly anticipated album, the follow-up to Rumours. A lot of people do like really like to slag off this album, and like certainly like when like I was listening to it, where like I was first like listening to it, like the first side is like actually like really strong, like I feel, but then I do get like why people say like this is like a little bit like off, like a disappointment. But anyway, we start with the song Over and Over, which is a strange opening song. It is strange to start like an album with like a slower ballad, and this is like what Fleetwood Mac done it, and it is a little bit boring, shall I say. Not really my thing. Christine McVie sings it though, which is nice, but it's yeah, like not my personal favourite track. Then we get a really good rock from Lindsey Buckingham, The Ledge. Quite like this one, very fun, very catchy song. So yeah, this one is like staying on my album. Also staying is the song Think About Me, a great sort of like slightly more sort of like rocking sound like for Fleetwood Mac. So like I think like this album, certainly like towards the end, it does need like a couple more like rocking songs like The Ledge and Think About Me, because like both of those songs are fantastic. So yeah, Think About Me is staying and would be my personal favourite from the album. And then we get Save Me a Place, which is a Lindsey Buckingham number. Really like this one, a little bit slower for him, but yeah, like it is like a good song, I feel. And then we get one of the most popular ones from the album, Sarah, Stevie Nicks classic. Like I'm keeping it like on like my album, although it like probably is like one of my like personal favourite songs like from her. Like I probably prefer like Landslide and Dreams and that, but it is still like a great song though, so I am keeping it. Opening to side 2 is like a really interesting song called What Makes You Think You're the One. Very strange sound to listen to, a very big sort of drum sound, and quite like rough around the edges, but still like still like overproduced like at the same time, I feel. But it is a good song, certainly great. Certainly like a really good song like for this album. So yeah, that one would be staying. And then like it goes like quite like quiet, quite soft again with Storms, like another like Stevie Nicks number. So yeah, like a really good song. Like actually, like I'm keeping Storms on my album. And then we have, for me, what I would say is the weakest one on the album, That's All For Everyone, like the Lindsey Buckingham number, and this one just doesn't work. It's a little bit, shall I say, like annoying towards like the end. Like it's like quite like repetitive. It is mostly just like the line "That's all for everyone," and it's so like overproduced, like overbearing. Like this song for me personally. So yeah, like that one, like unfortunately, is leaving. Another one what doesn't quite make the cut is Not That Funny, a popular one like from the album. I believe this was like extracted like as like a single, although like it didn't do like too well. But yeah, like a decent Lindsey Buckingham number, but unfortunately for me doesn't make the cut. And like again, like now, like another popular Stevie Nicks number, Sisters of the Moon, which unfortunately I am getting rid of. Very sort of similar to Sarah and Storm's, very sort of slow, very sort of very lush sounding track. But for me, it is very much of like the same like what we've heard from her. So yeah, like I would get rid of Sisters of the Moon. Then we get the song Angel, which again is another Stevie Nicks number, another one I am unfortunately chucking off my album. Yeah, like for me, just like not like a great song. I mean, like it's okay, it's alright, but yeah, unfortunately, kicking off my album. Now, a Lindsey Buckingham number, that's enough for me. I am actually keeping. Really like this one. Like actually, I think this was a more sort of rocking song from what I remember. But like yeah, like a great song, because like again with this one, like it isn't like an album what I've known for like a long time. So like there will be like a lot of songs in there what like I've maybe like only heard like about like 2 or 3 times. So yeah, this list will probably change out once I really get to know the album. Next one though, Brown Eyes, is a McVie number, which I am leaving off the album. Doesn't do too much for me, very slow song again, a little bit boring track I find, so yeah, unfortunately this one is going. And another one as well, Never Make Me Cry, I believe this is also a McVie number. I mean like it is like an okay song, like I do prefer it to Brown Eyes and maybe Angel as well, but for me doesn't do too much. I Know I'm Not Wrong though is another Lindsey Buckingham number, which I am keeping. I find with this album, a lot of people say that it's let down by like the Lindsey Buckingham songs today, that like he like overproduced the album, like he took control, and like he really like wanted to make it like his own, like when like Fleetwood Mac were really like a 3-way sort of band. Whereas I feel like his songs, although they maybe don't always work, I'm thinking of like That's All For Everyone and like that sort of thing, like they're interesting. They're interesting songs to listen to, whereas I find whereas I find like a lot of like Stevie Nicks and Christian McVie numbers like on it are like a little bit boring, a little bit predictable, and like much of like the same for them. So like yeah, like I certainly like appreciate like Lindsey Buckingham for being like very ambitious with like with this album. And now side 2 opens up with Honey High, which I think is another McVie song, another one like I'm chucking off. Not really like that characteristic like of like a song. I mean, like, it's not a bad song, but like at the same time, like it's not a great one. Same thing with Beautiful Child, Nicks number. Again, not one of my favourite Fleetwood Mac songs. Walk a Thin Line though is a Lindsey Buckingham one, which does get like a bit of praise like on the album, but for me is like one of like his weaker ones like on the album, and like doesn't quite make the cut. Although I am keeping the title song, of course, Tusk. Really fantastic song, very produced, this one here. But I like that. It does have like a certain like charm about it. Like it was a single, a popular single like as well. Like I knew this song, of course, like before like buying like the album. So yeah, a great song actually. And then Never Forget closes, which is another McVie ballad. Starts off quite similar to like the song like Over and Over, or like it's very sort of like it's bookended by like these 2 ballads. But I really like this one actually, so I am keeping Never Forget on my album. So yeah, that was me done. Tusk, 22 Dreams, and Quadrophenia. So yeah, I'd be interested to know what like you think of like these albums, like what songs that you keep, get rid of. Like if like you were to like condense these albums. With like most of these ones here, like they are great like double albums, and maybe this one, maybe not so much, and probably the same thing as well with this one here. Like they are they do have like some sort of filler material like on them. But overall, they are great albums, though, and like it is that sort of like that variety and scope of like adventure, where like what makes like albums like these like unique and that. So yeah, like I do like double albums, but this was just like a sort of like a hypothetical video. What songs like we keep, what songs we get rid of. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. And if you have like any other ideas and that for like me to do, like I'm conscious like now like to sort of like I think of like different things to like use like album reviews and like top 10 lists. So it is nice to do like a video like this, what like I wouldn't normally do. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you all for the next video. Goodbye.